All right, welcome back inside the Now Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday, and we've been in this fantastic pandemic for some time now, and people have found all sorts of interesting ways to keep themselves entertained, and they've found new ways to invest their money. Some of it legal, some of it not so legal, some of it a bit dangerous. And this morning, we have a new way for you to be able to check and see what's good for you, what's not so good for you, and the best way forward if you want to make complaints about situations that you found yourself in. To help us do that this morning, I want to welcome the acting CEO and the manager of corporate communications and education at the TTSEC. I want to welcome Listra Lucillo and Ellen Lewis. Good morning and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning.
Sorry, Listra.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. I want to start with you, Listra. Can you tell me what the role of the TTSEC is in general and then in specific to the investor?
Sure. The TTSEC is the regulator of the securities industry, which refers to anything that can be considered a financial instrument or investment product. As a regulator, we conduct the monitoring and oversight of the capital markets to ensure that the markets are fair, efficient, and transparent, to reduce systemic risk and to protect investors. As it relates to the investor itself or potential investor, the TTSEC's primary role is to ensure that each person is protected when conducting business of a securities nature whenever they're investing. So if they're investing in a bond, in a mutual fund, stocks or shares, or any other types of securities.
Okay, and right now as it stands in this pandemic, do you think that we're more vulnerable than usual to falling victim to investment scams and stuff like that?
Yes, we have seen that the public is very vulnerable to financial scams. In fact, in the latest economic bulletin of the central bank, it was reported that there was a decline in economic activity in the third quarter of 2020, where persons may have suffered a reduction in their income or the loss of their income altogether without a reduction in their expenses. The impact of COVID-19 has affected the labor market and thus causing these short-term financial schemes which offer larger than normal returns to gain in popularity, especially because these particular schemes that we saw were disguised as instruments that people were already familiar with, like susus, right, but they were not susus. So in this type of environment, coupled with the increasing use of social media and internet browsing, that presents a ripe situation in which the potential fraudsters may seek to entice persons looking to earn a living, to subsidize their income. So we urge people to be wary of these get-rich-quick schemes and to make the TTSEC their first point of reference when considering what appears to be an investment opportunity, to determine whether the so-called investment and the offerer are legitimate.
Now, we've seen a lot of people who've actually been able to benefit from some of these investment schemes, as you call them. But the others who have not been so fortunate, if they are to complain about an investment going wrong or a scheme, for example, Ellen, can you tell me how should they go about doing that, or what's the best way? Ellen, can you hear me? I'm not hearing you, Ellen. Ellen, check your microphone and make sure.
Thank you, Opus.
There we go.
As Listra would have indicated, your first point of reference, your first port of call, so to speak, should be the SEC. That is where you ought to and you should go to complain. But even before you come to the SEC, we also require a request of you that your first attempt to seek redress with the particular offerer, registrant, broker, the company within which you would have gone to make your investment to. TTSEC, as you are aware, is empowered under the Securities Act to investigate complaints with a view to adjudicating on matters of a securities nature. We started at the Commission. We will review and investigate all complaints and tips related to the securities industry, including, but not of course limited to, those made against registrants, they being broker-dealers, investment advisors, underwriters, and reporting issuers. Complaints must be in writing.
Right.
We say that upon receipt of a complaint or a tip, we here at the Commission may decide that further investigation is warranted. if the actions of these individuals or companies suggest a possible breach or possibilities of the act, we know we will act in a particular manner. Upon completion of the investigation or of an investigation, including the provision of legal advice, staff of the Commission will make a recommendation to the Board of the Commission, which may include convening a hearing if staff is of the opinion that the individual or company against whom a complaint was made has contravened or is contravening the act.
How long does that process take? It sounds like it's very detailed.
Well, we seek to ensure that we follow a process, that is to ensure that we are fair, one, to the complainant and the person to whom or the company to whom the complaint is being made against.
Right. Okay. And I understand that you guys have developed an app that's going to be launching tomorrow, the TTSEC Investor Protection app. Can you tell me a little bit about it, Ellen?
Well, as you would have pointed to quite early on in introduction to this interview, Lucas, with the pandemic, there are persons who are out there trying to take advantage of persons who may be vulnerable at this time due to job loss and loss of earnings. So what we've attempted to do is to make it easier for persons to get information, one, and to complain to the SEC. We recognize that internet and social media usage and the use of smart devices have markedly increased during this particular time, and that a link could be made in the rise of these online scams. There's a need, therefore, for us to be more accessible to the public, and this is why we introduced the Investor Protection app. The TTSEC Investor Protection application was developed to allow investors and the members of the public to submit a complaint on investments and investment offerings. Anonymous, and this is different. We normally accept tips and complaints via our website, but in the past, we require that you give information as to who you are. But by the app now, you can submit a tip to the SEC without giving certain information, revealing who you are.
So I don't have to sign in or register to be a part of the app?
I missed that question, Marcus.
Do I have to sign into the app or log in or anything like that?
Yes. Effective tomorrow when we go live with the application.
Yeah.
You'd have to download the app via the Google and Apple Store. And once you've downloaded the app, you get access to all the registrants, all securities, all information on any investment that may be existing in the country.
Right.
And we also provide you with tips and alerts and guidance as to how to make a wise investment.
Right, but I'm asking, when I download the app, do I have to register or sign into it?
No, you don't have to register. Once you download the app and you have access to the portal, you don't have to register to submit a complaint or a tip on any particular scam that you may have come across in your normal course of dealing. Okay,
and the registrants that you spoke of just now are people who are both investors and companies providing and holding investments?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The people who you said you can access the registrants, the whole list of, so you can access the list of companies where you guys approve people doing investments?
Yes.
As well as people who are doing investments, we can access that list as well?
Yes. What we have are the companies who are registered with the SEC to trade securities, and of course certain securities are also registered with the SEC as well.
All right, Listra, I want to come back to you
for... want to contribute to this question as well. Listra?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that it's not that if you are an investor, people can go on and see that you are an investor as well.
Right.
It's just the list of the registrants who are offering investment products. That's what you would see.
Okay. All right. Okay. Understood. Listra, can you also tell me, where does things like cryptocurrency, does that fall into this at all?
Well, it depends, because it's what persons are probably investing in or how they're investing in it, because sometimes, because cryptocurrencies are so prevalent now and people just don't know much about it, you'd find that people come and speak with them about, these great investment opportunities, and they don't really exist. So it comes in terms of that as well. So you're being solicited in some way to invest in cryptocurrencies. And when you go online, that's the thing about being online. You can see something with numbers, and it looks as if you have this wonderful account, and then you try to extract any money at that point, then you realize that it's not there. Probably the website no longer exists. You have all sorts of issues. So it creates this facade of something that is actually happening, which may not be. So you everyone just has to be very careful. And that's why we say, you ask your questions, beware of scams, and you check the TTSEC. They are ABCs.
Before we wrap up, is there any sort of protection against people who want to blow the whistle in Trinidad and Tobago at least?
Well, at this point, currently there's no specific whistleblower legislation, right? But there is a protection bill, which is an updated form of the Consumer Protection and Safety Act of 1985 that incorporates aspects of the whistleblowing and protections, but that is going through legislative review. But whilst there's no specific legislation in Trinidad and Tobago, our Securities Act provides some sort of protection to investors as well, and the whistleblowers.
All right, and the app is going to be available for both Android and iOS as well?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, that's
all right, fantastic. Well, I want to thank both of you for joining us this morning, and congratulations on the app. Guys, go out there tomorrow and download it. It's launching tomorrow. Just head across to your Google Play Store or your App Store and download the TTSEC Investor Protection app. Thank you so much, both Lystra Lucilio and Ellen Lewis, for joining us this morning and sharing this information. And congratulations on the app.
Thank you, Robert.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new app to make sure that your investments are safe, or at least you could check on them and make sure that, you know, the people at least legit. As a first step to making sure you're safe.
So true, true, because many have fallen prey to all kinds of scams. And you know, and
he believes some people still falling prey to it. But let's take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. According to Second Star, he want your money right now. He ain't playing them games.